Okay, so let's do this. First and foremost, this is my first remote talk, so I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll manage. Please bear with me. What I'm going to do, what I'm going to talk about today is the DevOps and the introduction of the security. I call it the SecDev, SecOps, Sec, because security should be everywhere, but that's for later. Well, I'm a developer at Team Rockstars, and I wanted to add this slide because I annotated we are rebels, a little bit rebellish, so to say, because although it's told we shouldn't do any interactivity in our talks, preferably, we are doing some interactivity. I want you guys to go to menti.com if you'd like, and use this code, because I wanted to know what your thoughts are when I say DevOps. So I'll open the countdown for a minute, and I hope you guys will help me. So please, the first one is getting in here, the mindset. Oh, nice. Oh, I really love you guys. Okay. So, well, the voting has closed. Thank you so very much. I see there's a hell of a lot of words and terms. I got Patrick Dubois, but I really just humble. I can play somewhere. Patrick Dubois, not really, but that could be me. So, but I think that most of the words that I thought of are already mentioned here. So developers and cloud, infra as code, orchestration, ESC. It's really nice. Oh, nice, thank you very much. I got this next slide. No, this was the one I came up with, which is a lot less than you guys did. But we are going to talk about the DevOps. What is DevOps? Well, I probably shouldn't be preaching for the choir at this moment. But what is DevOps? In my opinion, and probably it's not only my opinion, DevOps is when development, quality assurance, and operations collide. And in the sweet spot, we call it DevOps. So it's a joint effort from the entire team. And the team will consist of developers, quality assurance people like automated testers, and the operation people that normally would maintain the running application. And we can cross-pollinate those, how should I say this, those specialties, and learn from each other, so we can have a team that can be totally self-sufficient by building it and running it. Like Dr. Werner Vogel said in about 2006, if the quote is correct. The quote will be probably here, give or take a year. Well, there's another quote of Dr. Vogel's just a few moments ago. He said, "Sometimes you have the skill you don't know about." Well, probably we all have a little bit of skill when it comes to security, but we don't use it all the time. And what I'm trying to do is to get you guys, to give you guys a little bit more of knowledge of how to add security to a DevOps environment on a more or less subtle way. So, and well, this slide, I've been a bit too fast. This slide, what do we need for DevOps? Well, this probably is a no-brainer, but the first one is the mindset. I saw it in the word cloud, the first word that came up, the mindset. Well, the mindset is really good, quoted by Dr. Vogels. When you build it, you run it. So you are totally in control of the entire life cycle of your application. So from the design to building to getting it up in the cloud, to getting it to maintaining it, to keep it running, and even to innovate on it and release a new version. Well, how do we do this? We use a lot of practices. Well, first and foremost, the continuous integration and continuous delivery is something I personally think it's mandatory. To do the entire delivery, you should use infrastructure as code, because your infrastructure could change and you want to deploy that as well. And to be sure, you need version control or source control, so that your sources are being maintained in different versions in your source control, so you can roll back if something will go wrong. Well, there's also the configuration management, because you probably want to run the application in different environments, staging environment or production environment, and you don't want to change the application between those environments. So when it leaves your development environment, it will be immutable and will be run as the same in every different environment, except for the configuration. And in the end, we want to know how our application is performing, so we can proactively monitor its use. And well, to do that, we need a few tools. I've listed a few tools. For the infra as code, I've listed a few examples. I like to use Terraform, and it uses internally AWS CloudFormation, but you can use CloudFormation as well. And we want to have the automated software provisioning. Well, I can read the entire slide, but you can do also. And we want a source control system like code commit. Well, we need continuous integration, just like I said, and there's specific software that will help you with it, like Jenkins or Travis. And probably if you're using Java or .NET or even JavaScript, you want the artifacts stored somewhere so you can reuse it and get it as is from the artifact repository. And well, I've already told you we want to have the software immutable, so probably we're going to package it in a container. I'm struggling with words, don't know why. So we need a container registry and a container service, and probably we need some analysis tooling too for the code. How do you say this? Coding standards, and to know if you're having dependencies that are probably, well, possibly sorry, for the dependencies that you don't use dependencies that are possibly flawed. And that's where security comes in. Well, what I wanted to talk about is the what, why, when, and how security. There are normally 5 W's and 1 H, but that would be too much. What is security? Well, let's say the definition from the US DoD is this one: the protection of information and information systems against unauthorized access or modification of information, whether in storage, processing, or transit, and against denial of service to authorized users. Information security includes those measures necessary to detect, document, and counter such as threats. Information security is composed of computer security and communication security. Well, that's a hell of a mouthful. And to be honest, we can even do more summarize it more. The information is valuable, and we want it to be only accessible by people that needs access. and protect it from other users, and we need to protect it from malforming or modification, which we don't want it to have allowed. So, why do we want this? What I was saying, there are three pillars in security. One of it is confidentiality, because we don't want all our data to be accessed by everyone. There's integrity. I do not want my email to be captured, modified, and sent through modified. And the availability. We all know about the DDoS attacks, and well, in this day of age, we are dependent on information being available. So we really don't want to have the availability, the information offline because of an attack or something. So, I'm sorry. I hope you guys didn't scan the QR code. If you did, you had a nice video of Rick Astley, so you've been Rickrolled. That's probably also one of the reasons you want security. Please don't scan everything you get on your screen. So, and when do you want security? Well, in the ideal world, everywhere and always. In a more or less ideal world, we want it as soon as possible. So I don't know if you know the shift left movement, but the shift left movement is the theory of getting more things earlier in the software developer life cycle, and security should be one of them. How can we do this? Well, there are multiple different security types. So we need some different security controls. We need sometimes we need physical security controls. For example, the access control gates at the office, or a bouncer at your local club. We can have administrative security controls, like the rules and legislation. GDPR for some is one of them. And then we get the technical and logical security controls. And this is more or less everything we as IT specialists are thinking about. Network security, access control lists, more or less of these things. So where should security be fitted when you have a DevOps environment? Short answer, in my opinion, everywhere. From the birth of the solution, of the idea, till the deployment and the maintenance, security should be a cornerstone. So, well, this is more or less the thing that I more elaborately wrote on the sheet. So please do take note that you'll have the. Okay. Please take note that you'll have the security as a cornerstone in every discipline. In design, during development, make sure you test specific aspects. Make sure your infrastructure is secure. So, and please do proactive monitoring using metrics or usage logs, because that's your only and maybe your first, but maybe your only way of noticing an attack. Well, how can we do this? Long story short, one of the things we can do is add to the deployment pipeline. Sorry. So I'm sorry, this is in Dutch, but this is a typical DevOps pipeline, in my opinion. From the checkout through pre-build, build phase, then we do some testing, then we do some analysis, we package it, and we deliver it. And we can also deploy it if you have the continuous deployment. Well, this one is quite security-less. So what could we do? We could add some tools. Those are available online, aren't that hard to implement. And what I did in this example is adding the OWASP dependency checker, some mutation or fuzzy testing tools, the security testing stage, and I introduced the security testing stage in the pipeline, for which we do the penetration testing using the OWASP ZDetect proxy and some scripts in the Gauntlet. The container image checking and hardening. Now we can do this with the SNCC application or with Chef Inspect. and some checks on infra as code, which could also be done with SNCC. It's an example. And this will be the augmented SecOps or DevSecOps pipeline, in which you can see there are a few steps which are here in orange that are added just to ensure the security during the entire pipeline. Well, I have a few more tips. I noticed I'm almost out of time, so let's do this slide really quick. Please use the security by design philosophy. Integrate security tests for every flaw that is identified in the wild, and please keep them in your test suites to make sure that it won't reappear. And one of the most basic things you should do is make sure that every member of the DevOps team, regardless of the technical skill, is trained to be security aware. So the developers should be security aware, the officers should be security aware, even the test engineers should be security aware, and probably the security engineer is security aware, so that everyone knows what security terminology is used and can understand what it's meant for. Please add metrics to your application, and if possible, this is not really the DevSecOps, but security in general, invest in a good intrusion detection system, for instance, Snort. And now, I'm kind of done with the meat of the presentation. So please, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be on our virtual stand. I've entered the shortened URL here, so you can find me there. I'll be here today, and if you want to have a chat with me, please do, and maybe I can elaborate more.
All right.
Almost done. Almost done. We do have a raffle. We are giving away 5 copies of the new to release Call of Duty Black Ops. And if you drop by the stand and leave us your preferred platform or the platform that you would like to win it on, you can have a chance to win 1 copy. So thank you so very much, and please meet me at Team of Stars virtual stand.
All right. Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Chrisitiaan. You made it through. Everything's fine.
Sorry, the nerve got to me.
No worries. You did just fine. So we have a little bit of time for questions. So the hard part is done.
The fun part begins.
Exactly. So we have a few, or actually, I have a few questions. Okay. You talked about this security in your pipeline at near the end of your session. One of the things that I always notice is that a lot of people want to do this, and then very few people actually have it. Because unfortunately, security is always like a third-class citizen, even though it absolutely shouldn't be, and everybody agrees that it shouldn't be. But I don't know if you saw Corey's T-shirt this morning. It said, "Encrypt everything unless it's too hard."
Yes, I saw the T-shirt.
And that's to me sums it up really nicely. But so can you tell me a little bit about how companies can start with these adding these security steps to the pipeline if they haven't done anything yet?
The first thing I would recommend is to look up well, it's probably a no-brainer. The OWASP top 10 of security flaws, or at least there is the top 10 of weaknesses, I think. And you can find even on the OWASP site some rule sets to try to mitigate the flaws. You can download the Z-Attack proxy with the default rule set, and that should also be able to do fuzzy sort of fuzzy pen testing when you're having an API, for instance. You can use it to inject or try to inject malicious code in your API endpoints. I think that would be the first thing to try. Just getting some tools like the Zettertech proxy integrated in your pipeline. But I think it should even be better to at least do some static analysis testing, static analysis in your pipeline. You can use SonarQube for it. That would be even better start, because that would also do the vulnerability check on your dependencies and give you insight in possible loopholes in your code.
Yeah, in general, I usually recommend people to not get too scared by the bigger picture and just start somewhere. Something that's low key, low effort, that is not likely to generate too much disruption. And if that works, then you can expand from there. And I've seen that's really the best and possibly even the only way to do this, because
well, you need to start somewhere. So there's no excuse for not starting, because because you're afraid of the total picture. When you get in baby steps, you'll get there in the end, and it will take some time, but you will get there. But you need to do the first step.
Yep. No, I totally agree, and I think that a lot of companies are really struggling with that first step. Let me see. I see a question here by an anonymous person asking: No SonarQube or Zap as DevOps tools depend about. I'm not sure what to make of the question.
No,
to be honest.
Neither do I.
Okay, so if I can also not see who asked that question. So if somebody asked that question, feel free to ask it again in a slightly more detailed way, so we can understand what it should be about. Obviously, there is someone asking for if the presentation is available.
I can put these slides up.
Yeah, great. And somebody says, Justus Brugman says, great point to put in security by design. It should indeed be part in the first architectural designs as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, so exactly. Making such a huge fundamental change is not something that happens overnight. So again, start somewhere. And OWASP vulnerabilities have been implemented in many different languages, so it also makes it easy to get started, because ideally you want to put in as little effort as possible to get to some better place than where you are at now.
Yeah, so there are a lot of packages that work out of the box or nearly instant out of the box with just a little bit of configuration, and you get quite a lot of metrics and statistics out of it, and that can help you. It really can.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you very much, Chrisitiaan. If you enjoyed Christiaan's talk, please rate it here on the platform. Tweet to him at Chrisje, as you can see on screen, or connect with him on LinkedIn under Chrisje. That leaves me to thank you very much, Chrisitiaan. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you were here. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.